Hello. Bethesda have long been known as masters of balancing their games on high difficulties. And if you cast your mind back all the way back to 2011 when they released this hidden indie gem, The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, they did it again. On Legendary difficulty, enemies are practically invincible. And I am very, very invincible. And that's it, that's all the changes. No new items, enemy abilities, or reason to play this difficulty at all really. So join me as we journey into this masterpiece of game design and prepare to chug the jug. But first, I must fulfill my contractual obligations. Polybuzz is a free AI chat platform with 10 million downloads and 20 million characters to speak with. Let's see if everyone's favorite Skyrim companion, Serana, has any advice for us for this one. Serana, I need your help. Which race would you recommend for defeating Skyrim on Legendary difficulty? To which she responds by telling me a little about orcs, high elves, and Bretons. Okay, but can you give me the pros and cons of each? And I was given some good information. Serana mentioned the good damage output orcs have with the Berserker Rage ability. For high elves, she mentioned the plus 50 magicka as well as the extra magicka regen, but did also point out that they offer nothing for non-magic strategies. For Bretons, she mentioned magic resistance, but that's basically all they have going on. There's plenty of other stuff you can do with Polybuzz, but we're not going to get into all that right now. So, also make sure to use my promo code, JUGGY. Thank you to Polybuzz for helping pay my landlord's mortgage this month, and let's get back to the video. Cart ride. Meow. And immediately, I'm given a major decision to make. Which race should I be? High elves get extra magicka, and magicka is how you break pretty much every other game in this series, but not so much this one. Bretons get inherent magic resistance, not a bad choice, but orcs get the Berserker Rage ability, which doubles damage done and halves damage taken for 60 seconds once per day. Given that Legendary difficulty triples the damage you take and quarters the... There's no way that's right. You do 0.25 damage that you would do compared to Adept difficulty. Berserker Rage effectively turns the difficulty down to Master, so Orc it is. A dragon attacks, and there's no time to waste, so we rush up this tower. And shortly thereafter, the first combat encounter of the run. And yeah, this is what we're dealing with for this one. Finish this! The key here is to let someone else take aggro, because they can't die like I can. So that's exactly what I do for the remainder of the tutorial. I know you can grind every combat skill to 100 attacking Rayloth, but that's really boring, so I didn't do it. I exit the tutorial, and let's get started. Early on, combat is simply untenable. It can't be tenned, so I need to get some items that are attainable without any combat. Straight away, there's a flawless emerald and a skeleton just laying here next to the river. And this shrine west of the Guardian Stones has a body with a random enchanted item on it. I intended to sell it, but magic resistance seemed like it could be useful. In Whiterun, in the basement of the companion's house, there's an elven bow in a display case. It's an expert lock, but this is a Bethesda game, so I can just grab it through the wall. I leveled up at some point. All levels will go into either health or magicka depending on how I feel in the moment. Just never stamina. Next, I'm going to Riften.
Climb and back and we'll be off.
In the Chapel of Mara, you can do the Book of Love quest. I hadn't done this one in a long time, so I forgot it's basically the longest quest of all time. First, I had to walk all the way to Ivarstead, talk to like 5 people, then go back to Riften, just to be told to do the same thing again in Markarth.
Go to Markarth.
Then go back to Riften, to be told to go help some ghosts in whatever this area is called.
Take this and hold on to it. I'll be back for it later. I'll pay you good. Don't lose it.
Did you see someone run past just now? Grab him and yell. Bastard stole from me.
Anyway, I talked to the ghost, then another ghost, and watched them float into the sky together. This took about 30 minutes, but I get the Agent of Mara buff. for plus 15 resist magic. Not 15% like most buffs, just 15, presumably percent. Either way it's good. While I'm in Riften, I need to take out Grellet the Kind. She only has 1 HP, so the damage modifiers don't matter. Over in Windhelm, Aventus Aretino was praying that she dies.
And you could kill Grelot the Kind!
Generational hater, gotta respect it. Then the next time I sleep... No, not this time. Yeah, there it is, there you go. Dark Brotherhood beginning. I carefully decide which of the 3 targets to kill. Didn't like, didn't comment, didn't subscribe. And this allows me to access the Dark Brotherhood Sanctuary.
What is the music of life? Welcome.
Inside, Astrid gives me the Dark Brotherhood armor. Extra bow damage, muffled movement, and double backstab damage are really good. It's also the poison resistance, but sincerely, who cares? To get a slightly better piece of chest armor, I head to Falkreath, talk to Sinding in his cell. He wants me to kill him in his werewolf form. Then he turns into a werewolf and leaves. And I'm just gonna say it, he jumped straight into a wall. Before that, I need to kill a white stag. Much, much easier said than done. He doesn't fight back or anything, he just keeps regenning his health and running away. This started at Falkreath, and I chased him all the way to Whiterun. I had to use Berserker Rage and land 3 consecutive sneak attacks to finally get him. Then he says a bunch of stuff, but he's a deer, so I don't care. So I go to the cave to fight Sinding. I don't do any damage, but there's like 100 people here, so they can do it all for me. Then a ghost gives me Savior's Hide, which gives me another 15% magic resistance, along with the 50% poison resistance that my body just craves.
There's a cave here. Think we should check it out?
Have you not been paying attention at all? What do you think is happening right now? I'm almost ready to start the main quest. I just want to get some sneak levels to take advantage of my double backstab damage. To do this, just find anywhere near some people and turn on auto walk for about 45 minutes. And then, just like that, I'm a master. In the dream, I want Assassin's Blade to do 15 times sneak damage with daggers, combined with my gloves to double it and give it to the next guy. Actually, I'll just take them all. Now, I can finally do a main quest.
Go to Bleak Falls Barrow.
And actually engage in a little combat. 30 times damage just isn't enough apparently. Cool, guess I'll just sneak in undetected. And I mean undetected. Look at this peak stealth. Of course they don't see me. In the next room, the spider fight is pretty much unavoidable, but with Berserker's Rage making me effectively do 60 times damage, I'm fortunate enough that it only takes 2 hits. Arvel goes down pretty easily afterwards too. In theory, there's nothing stopping me from waiting 24 hours between every combat encounter to always have Berserker's Rage when I need it, so that's exactly what I do. I'm able to take out all of the Draugr before they wake up. And then I reach the word wall at the end. The Draugr Scourgelord here has slightly higher health than the other enemies. Let's count how many hits it takes to beat this guy, factoring in all of our multipliers. "360 power attacks to kill a single enemy." Anyway, I grab the Dragonstone and any loot that's lying around.
A new hand touches the beacon.
This is like the first chest I've opened to. What's this happen to me? I turn in the quest,
The Dragonstone of Bleak Falls Barrow.
and they ask me to fight a dragon.
I want you to go with Irileth and help her fight this dragon.
I don't even want to think about how many attacks it would take to kill a dragon. Big numbers are scary. Over the course of around 15 minutes, all the soldiers here take him out for me. It's not like I could even help if I wanted to. I absorb his soul. The Greybeards then contact me through the 5G chip in my brain. And the Jarl tells me to go hang out with them.
If you really are Dragonborn, they can teach you how to use your gift.
I'm not worried about this quest, but I am worried about the infamous frost troll that basically gatekeeps High Hrothgar. Sneak isn't really doing it for me. It's getting the job done, but I don't want to hide. I'm gonna have to come up with another way to deal with enemies. I go to Farengar and buy a soul trap spell. Get the mage stone, and now I just need a dead body to cast this on. This wasn't actually that bad, as far as skill grinds go in this game anyway. After only around 20 minutes, I get up to 100 Conjuration. The only perk I really care about is having 2 summons. Having multiple summons is a master level perk in this game, but just available by default in Morrowind. Society. So I get all the perks that lead to it, and unlock it. Over in the college, Conjure Dremora is a little too expensive for me, so I gotta make some money. Sadly for me, there's no internet for me to play video games on to make money, so I'm gonna have to overcome one of my core principles and actually contribute to society for money. So I grab an axe and start chopping firewood. Wish someone would make a video on ways to make money in this game. After a period of time later, I start selling the firewood and go buy the spell. Then I start climbing the steps to High Hrothgar. The 2 Dremora make pretty easy work of anything in our way. But Legendary wasn't messing around this time. The Frost Troll got upgraded to a Frost Dragon. Nothing my 2 Dremora can't handle, but over the course of the battle, I had plenty of time to think, to surmise, to ruminate. Is this really how I want to defeat Legendary? No. I want to defeat my enemies myself. While I think on that, I talk to the Greybeards, demonstrate Whirlwind Sprint, and they tell me to retrieve the horn of Jurgen Windcaller.
Retrieve the horn of Jurgen Windcaller.
But before that, I have some work to do. Before advancing, I want to get what just might be the best perk in all of Skyrim, but to get it, I need 70 restoration. Some of you probably know what I'm referring to, but we'll get to that. To do this, I grab a turn undead spell, find an undead, and start turning him. I was leveling pretty fast until my game crashed. Then it crashed again, seconds after returning. Guess I'll try something else. At High Hrothgar, there's a big ice wall that damages you. Just walk into it and heal until you reach your dreams. I only need to reach 70, so I got there pretty quickly. Before doing anything with that, I want to level some alteration. This skill is barely a grind at all. I just need Mage Light, and then stand right here outside Solitude and shoot Mage Lights at this magical mountain peak. Just casting it twice gets me from 15 to 26, and less than 5 minutes later, I hit 100. This is probably the fastest you can get any skill from 15 to 100 without any prep time. But let's circle back to Restoration. The perk I wanted from the tree is Necromage. All spells are more effective against undead. Sounds simple and not particularly useful, but if I become a vampire, I am technically undead, making all of my spells affect me more. Not only this, every armor enchantment, as well as several strong perks and standing stone buffs get boosted too. But I need to go become a vampire first. So I go to a vampire cave, let myself get hit for a while, realize that a thrall isn't actually a vampire, find a real vampire, and get a disease. I then go to an inn, let the disease set in. And now I can unlock Necromage. I also make a stop at the college and buy a paralysis spell, but that is a lot of magicka. To reduce this, I turn my Conjuration Legendary, so I can move some points over to Alteration. Glad I spent all that time leveling it to kill 2 enemies. I then grind a little enchanting, buying iron daggers, enchanting them, and selling them to buy more soul gems and daggers. I don't care about making anything super strong, I just want to make a few basic alteration cost reduction items. And now I feel strong enough to retrieve the horn of Jurgen Windcaller.
Malakath has given me a vision of a glorious death. I am to wait here until it finds me.
Just gotta make sure to actually use the paralysis. We're not ready for dual wielding quite yet. Inside Ustengrav, I put my plan into motion and take the Draugr out of it. It's slow, but it works. Thank God they removed weapon durability for this game. Pretty much every enemy in here goes down the same. Paralyzed and very, very slowly beaten to death. At the end of the dungeon, turns out the horn is missing, and I need to go to Riverwood to retrieve it. So I go straight there, and Delphine tells me that we need to kill a dragon.
We're going to go there, and you're going to kill that dragon.
This poses a few issues. Dragons are strong, but they're also immune to paralysis, so I need to prepare. I first journey around Skyrim to grab the 3 words for the Mark for Death shout. This shout removes 4,500 armor from the target. Wait, is that real? 4,000? Wow. I also want to not die instantly, so I need to work on my magic resistance. I already have 15% from Savior's Hide, and I can get another 30 from the Alteration tree. These are both boosted by 25% thanks to Necromage. I still have the 15% from the Book of Love quest. This takes me to around 72% magic resistance, only 13% away from the cap. But I actually don't care about any of that at all, because if you take the Atronach perk from the Alteration tree, and the Atronach Standing Stone, you can get up to 80% spell absorption, and then Necromage just boosts it straight up to 100, which makes me immune to all magic. On the damage side of things, I decided the best route for me would be the Elemental Fury shout, so I get the 3 words of that. To get the required dragon souls, I fast travel around until a dragon attacks in a city or near a friendly camp. Each one takes around 15 minutes to die, which I mostly spend just trying to keep everyone healed. With all this, I feel ready to take on a dragon. I head up to Kyne's Grove, reduce his armor with the shout, and I activate Elemental Fury, Berserker's Rage, eat a vegetable soup, which lets you do infinite power attacks by the way, and here's my damage output. Very passable, and the dragon goes down pretty quickly. Good proof of concept, but this build can be pushed much, much further. The next quest is to infiltrate the Thalmor Embassy. Lots of enemies, and nobody in there to take aggro for me. The most obvious upgrade for me is my equipment. It's true what they say, being a guy with 2 knives is pretty terrific. But my ideal setup is a mace and a dagger. Maces ignore 75% of a target's armor with the perks in the one-handed tree, and when dual wielded with a dagger in the left hand, it gives you a very fast dual wield combo. I'm a few levels too low for Daedric weapons to spawn naturally, so I'm gonna craft some. But to do that, I need 90 smithing. The fastest way that I know of is to just spend all your money on dwarven ingots, and to make a ton of dwarven bows. If you know a better way, please tell me, because this was awful. So I grab the required perks, buy some Daedric hearts from Enthyr in the College of Winterhold, and make a full suit of armor as well as weapons. I think I'm ready to go to the embassy.
Thank you, sir. Go right in.
I ask Razalan to make a distraction.
Is that all? My friend, you've come to the right person.
They're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, they're eating the pets of the people.
While he's out there making the important issues known, I sneak into the back and retrieve some gear I had smuggled in. With a Berserker Rage, Elemental Fury, and Vegetable Soup, I can completely destroy some of these guys. It's so fast that the footage even looks sped up. I can even stunlock some of the stronger enemies. I cleared out the courtyard fairly easily. If you see me taking magic damage, it's because I had the warrior stone still on from the smith and grind and forgot to put the Atronach back on. I still have pretty good resistance and some absorption, so it's fine. I head into the dungeon and deal with any remaining Thalmor. I free a prisoner, and he tells me that we need to find an old guy named Esbern.
They're after some old guy named Esbern. I've seen a guy in Riften who they seem to think is him.
And I leave. There's always gotta be that one guy when it's cold outside. Back in Riverwood, Delphine tells me to ask Brynjolf in Riften about Esbern.
You'd better get to Riften. Talk to Brynjolf. He's well connected.
But before that, I need to work some things out with this build. The main issue right now is physical defense. If I can't stun lock the enemy, then I have some real problems. There's a few solutions to this problem, but for now, the best return on investment for me involves Tolfdir. He's waiting at Sarthal to do the excavation, and will be waiting until the end of time because I'm only here to ask him about the Master Alteration quest. He tells me that I need to retrieve a special dagger to get some special scales from presumably a special dragon.
First, there are ancient references to dragon heart scales. Second, there are stories of a dagger called Calvozine's Fang, said to be sharp enough to carve individual scales off a dragon.
The dagger is at the end of some ruins filled with Draugr. Not much happens in here, except that I learned Draugr Deathlords are still a little tough for me. I reach the end and grab the dagger. I also get the Kind's Peace shout. Never used it, not sure why I left it in the script. Now, I just need to kill a dragon. I go to Falkreath, because who cares about Falkreath? And about 5 minutes later, the townspeople help me kill the dragon, and I get the scales. Back in Sarthal, Tolfdir turns the scales into a Dragonhide spell.
I certainly think you deserve the first copy of the tome. Use it well.
Which reduces physical damage taken by 80%. The spell says it has a 45-second duration, but with the duration boosting perks in the alteration tree, necromage, and dual casting, which you have to do with any master level spell, the duration goes up to 2.5 minutes. Now, I feel ready to find Esbern. Brynjolf tells me that he's hiding in the sewers.
He's hiding out in the Ratway Warrens, paying us good coin for nobody to know about it.
Even with Dragonhide, I still take a decent amount of damage, but it's nothing I can't handle. That is until I fail to realize it ran out, and the random sewer dweller spikes me on my head. He's got that homeless man's strength. But I get through the rest of the sewers easily enough.
What? No, that's not me. I'm not Esbern. I don't know what you're talking about.
Esbern says it's the Dragonborn's destiny to defeat Alduin.
Only a Dragonborn can stop him.
And that he needs to go talk to Delphine.
We must go quickly now.
The next quest has pretty minimal combat, so there's not much need to upgrade myself before it. Esbern tells me that we need to find Alduin's wall to defeat Alduin. On the way there, I cut down a couple Forsworn, open the weird bald guy door, and Alduin's wall tells us about a shout that can knock a dragon straight out of the sky. The Greybeards send me to the top of the mountain to learn of this shout, and I finally managed to kill a frost troll in this playthrough. At the top, Parthenax tells me that I need to find an Elder Scrolls V Skyrim to defeat Alduin. I know where this quest goes, and I would like to be quite a bit stronger before going there, so let's take this build to the next level. Currently, my heavy armor skill is only 36 because getting hit on Legendary just kinda kills you, doesn't give you much chance to level up. My one-handed is around 81 because it takes so long to kill anything, but I barely have any of the perks for it, so I want to max out my one-handed and my heavy armor before continuing. Let's start with the armor. I only need to reach 80 heavy armor because who cares about the Reflect Blows perk? It doesn't even negate the damage it reflects. My initial plan was to let a giant hit me a lot. XP in this game actually scales with the damage you take, but this was pretty slow and pretty dangerous. The next idea I had was to just pay for training, but surprisingly, there's only one heavy armor trainer in the game who isn't locked behind a quest, so I go to pay him a visit. Why did that raise my sneak? I wasn't even crouching. Anyway, it's an orc stronghold, and I guess because I'm a vampire, they don't consider me an orc anymore, and won't train me.
We don't deal with your kind.
So plan C is to just get into a brawl and stand there healing. Uthgard in Whiterun is more than happy to oblige. When I travel to Whiterun, it's 9 PM on the 10th, and after Uthgard levels my heavy armor up to 80, it's almost 8 PM on the 15th. Talk about cardio. One-handed is a lot less interesting. I have to attack my horse and heal him for a few minutes. My one-handed was 80 at the start, and I only needed it to be 90 because the level 100 perk doesn't do much for me. I get all the damage perks in one-handed and damage resistance perks in heavy armor. This is a pretty huge upgrade, so I feel confident I can take on whatever Blackreach holds for me. But first, I need to be told to go to Blackreach. This guy says to go talk to this guy.
In the depths of Blackreach, one yet lies.
Okay, great. So I head on over to Alftand. Combat-wise, I think I'm pretty solid. I'm defeating basic enemies without any buffs or much damage taken. I would say this is the point where the game actually felt kind of playable. I even take down a Dwarven Centurion with no trouble. Then I go into Blackreach. The Thalmor down here are also pretty manageable. I even summoned the secret dragon down here by using Unrelenting Force on the ominous orb. And he has absolutely no answer for me. This was one of the easiest dragon fights in the whole run. Didn't even use Berserker's Rage for it. Eventually, I reach the puzzle at the end and just mash all the buttons randomly until it opens. Then I get the Elder Scroll. I take it back to Parthenax and read it. Turns out back in the day, the Nords of old just sent Alduin into the future so we could deal with him. If only we could do that with our problems in real life. After that, I need to fight Alduin, and it goes fine. But I'm not content with scraping a win. I want to push this build as far as it can go. So before I advance any further, I have some real work to do. There's 3 things that can take this decent build to never before seen heights, and they are the 3 strongest skill trees in the game: alchemy, enchanting, and smithing. Let's start with leveling my alchemy. To grind alchemy, normally you buy a house, plant ingredients, wait a few days, harvest. It takes quite a while, so I'm gonna give myself a free one here. In steps the humble Abyssian Longfin and Cyrodiilic Spadetail. I catch a bunch of them in the water. Where else? And the time has come to do the restoration loop. I know. Don't worry, I'm not just gonna make a billion damage sword or anything. This is just to level my alchemy quickly. The XP you get from making a potion is tied to its value, so this is a really fast way to do it. For anyone who doesn't know what the restoration loop is, restoration boosts the strength of your enchantments passively. So if you have fortify alchemy gear and fortify your restoration with a potion, you can make your fortify alchemy gear stronger, which allows you to make stronger restoration potions, which strengthens your alchemy, which strengthens your potions, which strengthens your alchemy, which strengthens your potions. After doing this loop about a dozen times, my potions are looking like this. And I hit 100 alchemy. If you really want to break the game, you can make a fortify smithing potion of this strength and make any weapon in the game do infinite damage. But that drifts a little too far into game breaking territory for my liking, so I'm not going to do it. I'm instead going to take this overpowered potion and throw it into a river. It's like the end of the mask. Do you mind? I also need more skill points to get everything I need, so I make my alteration legendary and do the mage light thing again. Now I need to make a smithing set. I make a fortify enchanting potion so that I can make a stronger fortify alchemy set, and then use that set to make the strongest fortify smithing potion I can. 150% is pretty good. Then I combine this with a full set of fortify smithing gear. These all combine to boost my gear to insane heights, adding almost 200 damage to both of my weapons. But it doesn't stop there. Using more of the enchantment potions, I can enchant 4 of my items to boost my one-handed damage by 51% each. But we can go further. I grab some Crimson Nirnroot from Blackreach and a couple River Betty fish. I combine them to make a pretty strong poison. Another thing I do is combine some moss and a rock warbler egg. What is a warbler? To make an extremely strong fortify one-handed potion. I only had enough to make one, and I think you know who I'm saving it for. Lastly, I need to actually enchant my weapons. I could get any old damage enchantment, but the strongest one is in Solstheim. Here you can get the Chaos enchantment, 50% chance of all elements doing damage, and you can proc all 3 with a single swing. They also all benefit from the elemental enchantment boosting perks. Then I put them on my 2 weapons, and I'm now ready for the final quest. Before I can attack anything, I need to arrange a meeting. Everyone agrees to show up.
Yes, I'll give Tullius one more chance to quit Skyrim with his tail between his legs.
Yes, fine. I'll come to this Greybeard Council. For all the good it will do.
And now we sit and talk. This could have been an email. The Jarl agrees to trap a dragon in his palace.
The risk is too great. My men stand ready.
So I summon the dragon.
What? Bing!
And we can finally see how much damage I do. Not bad. Odahviing then agrees to fly me to Alduin's base. Here, all the Draugr die very easily. Even the stupidly tanky Draugr Deathlords go down in a single flurry. The Dragon Priest at the top poses no threat whatsoever. Then I enter the portal to Sovngarde.
What brings you, Wayfarer? You fought well. I find you well.
The people inside agree to help me in my battle, like I need it, and we go outside and hit Alduin with the rain go away, and I hit the Dragon Rain. Then I Berserker Rage, drink my potion, apply my poison, charge my weapons, and attack. Alduin is defeated, and that is the end of my Skyrim Legendary playthrough. I'd like to thank Polybuzz once again for sponsoring this video, and of course who could forget the YouTube channel members who helped make this channel possible in the first place. And you too can join these ranks for as little as $1 a month. So, that's it. See ya.